Do you recall filing a complaint with regard to a anonymous letter to the editor of the newspaper?
Yes.
This was the letter to the editor in June of 2015. Dear Editor, when I read Deb Harper's letter to the editor in the June 11th issue, I felt guilty because I had exactly the same thought when I read the statements made by Ron Hankins at the last hospital district board meeting but failed to write a letter to the editor. I voted for Paul Harper based on his stated agenda. Somehow I had thought all these years that responsible voters looked at the agendas of all the candidates in order to make an informed choice. Hankins seems to think his is the only correct agenda. I was appalled from the beginning to find that an elected official could be sued for the way they vote on an issue. I was even more appalled to find that the citizens have to pay for the lawyer of the person filing the lawsuit. Now to see that the insurance meant to cover the legal fees of an official who's been sued is not being used adds insult to injury. It insults the person who was sued, and it insults the citizens of the county. It adds to the resolve of citizens to never run for any kind of public office or sit on a public board. And it's signed Annie McGee, Glen Rose, Texas.
Tell me about that.
Someone, I did not know who because it was anonymous, I think wrote a letter to the editor of the Glen Rose Reporter and was disparaging me. And I don't think that's fair. If you want to call me names, or if you want to have a problem with me, do it to my face. Don't do it anonymously like people do on the internet. They're real brave when they're behind the screen hiding somewhere and you don't know where the hell they are. Well, this was kind of the same thing, writing an anonymous complaint, and so yes, I did file a complaint with the sheriff's office concerning that.
On a Thursday afternoon in June 2015, a friend called me up around 4 in the afternoon. She said, "You're not going to believe what just happened to me." She said a sheriff's car had come up her driveway as she was preparing to go on an errand, and a deputy got out and approached. He told her he was investigating a complaint by Ron Hankins about a letter that had been written the previous week to the editor of the Glen Rose Reporter, some kind of false identity charge. Ron Hankins was the Somervell County attorney for a number of years and is now an elected official on the Somervell County Hospital Board. Further, the deputy had been by the Glen Rose Reporter first and at some point got the real name of the pen name writer and went to her house. My friend had written a letter under a pen name, Annie McGee, with the full permission and knowledge of who she actually was of then editor Colleen Horning. She explained this to the deputy, and he asked if he could have a copy of the email between she and Colleen Horning, and she supplied it. You can see that the letter is not threatening. It was not written under Ron Hankins' name. That is, the letter writer was not impersonating him.
And you filed a complaint with the sheriff's office, and what's your understanding of what the sheriff's office did with that complaint?
The only thing I was aware of is that they did determine, I guess, who it was. I didn't know the person. Never met him to my knowledge.
Why would it be against the law to write an anonymous letter to the editor?
I'm trying to remember. I was thinking that it was something in connection with possibly trying to disparage me as being a member of the, or my outlooks or whatever on the board. I mean, you got a right to file a complaint. If it's not illegal, it's going to go to someone who says it's not illegal. Okay. I was upset. You understand that?
My friend wrote a letter to her friends. This is in part what she said. Dear friends, I wrote a letter to the editor that was published in the June 18th, 2015 edition of the Reporter. Imagine my surprise when a sheriff's deputy showed up at my door with a complaint that had been filed against me by Ron Hankins in regard to that letter. The complaint is of online impersonation. I certainly disagree with him on many points, but since when is a disagreement on politics a cause for filing a legal complaint? He's an elected official and a lawyer. Does he do this for every letter writer with whom he disagrees? Are there other people in the community that he has tried to intimidate? The First Amendment to the United States Constitution prohibits abridging the freedom of speech and infringing on the freedom of the press. It does not take a lawyer to know that.